up, everybody? I know a few weeks ago, after before the Super Bowl, I said this: we're not going to really do anything until the start of the season. In case anybody needs, we are. Screw it. We've got nothing better to do right now. We are going to fill out our brackets for you. These are already filled out. We just did them actually, like just literally minutes ago. So if you got any last minute, you're stumped. Need a second opinion? I mean, if you want to go with us, great.
And it's solely that, an opinion.
Yes.
We're not professionals, we're fans.
We are not professionals. We are not, we're not getting paid to do this. Well, unless the one hits. We have one that's on one of the sports books that pays like 50 grand, but if that hits, woo. First of all, we are in the state of Missouri in a little town right outside St. Louis called St. Charles, roughly, an hour away from Columbia.
Yeah, we're probably about an hour and 10 minutes from
Columbia. Hour and 10 minutes from Columbia, Missouri, where the Missouri Tigers play. This might end up coming off very homerish at times, very Midwest,
anti-Kansas.
Yeah, anti-Kansas, East Coast bias is going to seem like we're going to be crying a little bit, but we're just here to do our brackets. Anything that's said in...
yeah, don't get upset if we have your team losing in the first round or the second round in upset. It's nothing personal unless you're from a certain school. Yeah,
and you might figure that out as we get going.
Which I actually didn't do, surprisingly.
I'm basically going to let Brian do what he needs to do. I mean, he actually puts a little more thought into this than me. Me personally, I just don't get lucky enough or know enough to fill out a bracket saying, hey, this guy beat this guy's RPI is freaking 68, this guy's lost on the road all year. No, I mean, I don't have time for that shit. I work. Here's what I did. I had the first round, or the top seeds, advancing 2 rounds automatically. So basically giving them 2 wins, and I had all my second seeds advance 1 round. After that, it was just purely this. I went total coin flip, and my final 2 teams, actually I have 2 number 1s making it to the final game, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. But it was 1 flip. Heads went to the higher seed, tails went to the lower seed. Like I said, he thought about it. I did not. This is kind of just a little experiment. I actually got money on this bracket, so not the expensive one, but for $5. This is my $5 bracket. So we're going to just break it down. Go ahead and hit it. Start with the South.
All right, we're going to start in the South. Obviously, Kentucky's going to win their first game. And I like Iowa State to beat UConn. Wichita State, I like them to beat VCU. Wichita State, that's a good sleeper school. They're experienced, they're big. I like them to do well in this tournament. They may go further than I have them going, but I like Wichita State. I like Indiana over New Mexico State. I'm taking Colorado, the old Big 12 team, over UNLV in a little bit of an upset. I do like Baylor to win. I like Xavier to win, and I also have Duke winning in the first round. After that, I then have Kentucky beating Iowa State. I have Wichita State in a slight upset over Indiana. I like Baylor over Colorado, and I have Duke beating Xavier. I think that's going to be a good game. Going into the Elite Eight, I have Kentucky playing Baylor, and I have Kentucky coming out of the South bracket.
Now, I had Kentucky obviously just go ahead and advance. I did not coin flip this one. I did. The coin had Iowa State. The coin had Wichita State. The coin had Indiana, which is amazing. It's actually kind of right off his, but this is where we differ a little bit. I've actually got UNLV winning, or actually the coin does. I have Baylor advancing, and I have Xavier advancing over Notre Dame, which if you saw Notre Dame against Louisville, or you had money on it, you know that they got blown out in their frickin' tournament game, or in their conference tournament, and they looked horrible to me anyway, so I'm not actually too disappointed. And I've got actually Duke winning, or actually advancing without the coin flip. Next up, Kentucky, Iowa State. I've actually got Kentucky go ahead and advance the first 2 games. Next up, I got Wichita State, Indiana. I've got Wichita State beating Indiana. UNLV, Baylor. I've got Baylor winning. And Xavier, Duke. I got Xavier winning. And then I've got actually in an upset that the coin picked, I've got Wichita State beating Kentucky. Now, me personally probably would not have done that. Next up, I've got Baylor, Xavier. Actually, the coin's got Xavier winning. I'm not too upset with that because I think Baylor's a good team. Unfortunately, every time we've seen them, they've lost. Well, I take that back. I think I watched them play the Kansas game, which they looked dominant over Kansas. But unfortunately, the Coin's got Xavier. I've got Wichita State and Xavier in the South Elite Eight.
Oh, we laugh, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And I've actually got Xavier advancing to the Final Four.
Okay, maybe not anything.
Like I said, this was all a
Most things
coin
can happen.
flip. I mean, I've done these brackets in the past. I've come down to where I've had a chance, but I don't think I've ever actually won one. So that's why this is just a pure experiment to see how we do.
All right, so moving on to the West. I like Michigan State in the first game. Memphis, St. Louis. You would think I'd take St. Louis, but I actually like Memphis. They've been playing well. I think they've won like the last 8 games are winning by an average of 22 points. So I'm taking Memphis. I like New Mexico over Long Beach State. I'm going to take Louisville over Davidson, but might be an upset there. So kind of keep an eye on Davidson. That's not a bad pick. I like Murray State to beat Colorado State. I like Marquette to beat BYU, even though BYU did look really good in that comeback last night. I'm going to take Florida over Virginia. Florida's very good from the outside. I think they're probably going to be a little too much for Virginia. And, of course, I'm going to take Missouri, although Norfolk State, I think their average starters average about 6'4", 6'5". Defensively, they gave up 29% shooting from the three-point range, which is something Missouri thrives on. So, no, we're favored by 22 points, but got to be a little leery. Come out, push it inside, and it'll open up the outside game. Going into the next round, I like Michigan State over Memphis, although I came real close to taking Memphis there. I like New Mexico to beat Louisville. Steve Alford will get to the Sweet 16. I like Marquette over Murray State, and I'm going to take Missouri over Florida with Bradley Bill, the St. Louis boy who shunned us. Going into Elite Eight, I'm going to take Michigan State to beat New Mexico, and as a homer, I'm going to take Missouri over Marquette, which I think is thoroughly possible. Marquette is a very good team. And making the Final Four for the first time in school history and breaking the string of 22 wins and no Final Four appearances, I'm taking Missouri to make the Final Four.
You're picking Missouri to make the Final Four?
Yeah.
Okay. Missouri, is an 8 seed in this tournament.
No, they were the 8th best team according to the committee.
Right. So
almost
that's
a 3rd seed.
That's what I'm saying. They're ranked 8th. So that's pretty good that they're going to jump ahead. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it's all about non-conference schedule. I mean, if we go and look at all the top 10 teams, I'm sure they're non-conference. Now, some of the teams have very much stronger non-conference schedules than Missouri, but not all of them. Yeah.
Actually, we don't differ that much. Like I said, I advanced Michigan State automatically.
It scares me that I'm competing with a coin and we're getting the same pick.
The coin did pick St. Louis University. I've actually got no problem with this. Being from St. Louis, obviously we get a little bit more insight on the Billikens than most people. The Billikens actually, if they were playing in their old conference, which was Conference USA, would probably have challenged Memphis for the conference title. They played very well this year. The one thing that, all the talk is today is that it's easier to slow a fast team down than it is to have a fast team try and, speed a slow team up in these games. So look for St. Louis U to really just try and slow Memphis down in this game. Possibly, I was telling him before this, even without the coin, I probably would have picked him to advance. So next up, I've got New Mexico beating Long Beach State, or the coin did actually. Davidson actually upsetting Louisville. I don't know if I would have done that, but the coin said to do it. Murray State advancing, Marquette advancing. I've got Virginia beating Florida, which is kind of scary because I actually would have probably picked Florida, but Missouri, I went ahead and advanced automatically since they were 2nd seed. Next up, Michigan State, St. Louis. The coin picks, Michigan State actually, I got them advancing automatically. New Mexico beating Davidson in the next round. Murray State losing to Marquette, so I got Marquette advancing. And then in an upset to me, and it was crushed my heart when I saw the little tail show up, but Virginia beating Missouri.
Get out of here.
And then I got Michigan State beating New Mexico and Marquette beating Virginia because they got just thoroughly wiped out beating Missouri because it took every little bit of effort to beat Missouri. That Marquette had an easy win right here, and I've got Michigan State actually advancing to the finals. Now that was a coin flip on that game, so I've got Xavier, Michigan State right now.
And I've got Kentucky and Missouri. SEC future matchup.
That's right.
All right, off to the East bracket. Start out with Syracuse playing UNC Asheville. I like Syracuse even without Fab Melo. I like K-State to beat Southern Miss, although they got, I think Eustace is the former Iowa State coaching Southern Miss. That should be interesting. But I'll take K-State there. I like Vanderbilt to beat Harvard, but I will say this: it's definitely an upset to look at. I think 3 of the last 4 or 4 of the last 5 years at Vanderbilt has been a 4 or 5 seed. They have lost in the first round to the 12 or 13 seed. So, you know, you got to look out there. But this Vanderbilt team is kind of like Missouri. They're older, experienced. I expect them to do well, but you never know. Wisconsin's playing Montana. I'm actually doing my upset pick here. I'm going to take Montana to upset Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't seem like the type of team that's going to blow out. They play a very slow, defensive-minded style of game. So I'm going to take Montana to win that. I'm going to take Cincinnati over Texas. I'm going to take Florida State over St. Bonnie. And I'm taking West Virginia, a little bit of an upset over Gonzaga. And I'm going to take Ohio State to beat Loyola Maryland. The next round, I'm taking Syracuse to beat K-State, but that should be a very good game. K-State's the one team that really gave Missouri problems. They've got some size, some length. They're quick. That could be a very good game, but I'm going to take Syracuse to eke one out there. I'm going to take Vanderbilt to defeat Montana. I'm going to take Cincinnati in a slight upset over Florida State. Florida State's getting a lot of press right now for winning the ACC title. But I look back and see they've got 9 losses, and some of those games were not good games. It tells me that this is a very talented team, but maybe doesn't always show up. So I'm going to take Cincinnati. They've been playing well. And I'm going to take Ohio State over West Virginia. Make it to the Elite 8. I'm taking Vanderbilt to upset Syracuse, and I'm going to take Ohio State. And making the Final Four is Ohio State Buckeyes.
I advanced Syracuse automatically. Actually, I had Southern Miss beating K-State. Even though being from Missouri, K-State looks like they should never lose a game ever, seeing how they beat Missouri twice.
Handily.
Yeah, don't ask me what the hell happened there. Vanderbilt advancing over Harvard, thank God, because actually I would have done that. Montana beating Wisconsin also. Texas, the coin loved Texas this year. Texas makes a good run. Texas beating Cincinnati, Florida State actually beating St. Bonaventure, and Gonzaga beating West Virginia, and Ohio State automatically advancing since they're a 2 seed. Syracuse beating Southern Miss, that was an automatic one. And then Vandy and Montana, Vandy advanced, thank God. Like I said, the coin loved Texas. Texas beating Florida State, which I just don't see. Texas is not that good of a team, and it just sucks that they coin flipped their way through. I got Gonzaga beating Ohio State, thank God. And then I got Syracuse losing to Vandy. That was a coin flip, but I probably would have done that anyway. Vandy looked really good against Kentucky. Syracuse losing their center, you know, they're going to run out of gas. Next up, I've got, like I said, Texas beating Gonzaga, and then I've got Texas beating Vandy, making it to the Final Four. The coin loved Texas. Texas should be a good team. Starting out, I think they were a team of that had a lot of promise, and everybody thought, they're going to do something. It's been this way, seems like, for 2 years now, and they just haven't done it. But unfortunately, I've got Texas in the Final Four right now.
I got to correct myself. I said Larry Eustace earlier for Southern Miss. I think it's he was at Iowa State, went to the Bulls, went to USC, and now he's at Southern Miss. Tim, I can't remember his name. Anyways, it's not Larry Eustace, so I apologize. At least I don't believe it is. I don't know. I just know he's at Iowa State. I don't know either. And also, for any Syracuse fans that are upset, still a very talented team without Fab Melo. A lot of size. I think to make it to the Final Four is they're going to have a complete change in the game plan. I think when you lose your defensive player of the year in the conference, the shot blocking, the changing of the shots, I just don't know if they can do it in a short amount of time.
Yeah, and if you look at their half of the bracket, I mean, nobody up there scares you except Vanderbilt, who beat Kentucky, but Vanderbilt with 10 losses.
Right.
So, I mean, if you look at their bracket, I mean, like I said, besides K-State, I think K-State's an awesome team because every time I see them, they're killing somebody, and that's Missouri. So, I mean, even without him, you know, look for him to go, you know, pretty deep.
Anything's possible, but
exactly.
We'll see what happens. All right, moving to the Midwest. We're going to take North Carolina over I believe Vermont right now is beating Lamar, but it doesn't matter. Taking North Carolina. I'm going to take Creighton, another good team out of the Missouri Valley Conference, so we're a little partial. Creighton to beat Alabama. I'm going to take Temple over whoever they're playing. I don't know at this point. It's California or South Florida. I'm going to guess California is going to win, but that would just be a guess. But I'm going to take Temple to win that. I'm going to take Michigan to win over Ohio. I guess the stepson of Ohio State and the little brother of Ohio State, and Michigan will want to put a hurt on them. A little bit of upset. I'm going to take North Carolina State over San Diego State, but you have to give credit to the Mountain West Conference. They've had a very, very good year and some great teams coming out of there. I'm going to take Georgetown to beat Belmont, although this is another one I would really consider taking Belmont on. Georgetown, for whatever reason, as of late, does not play well in the tournament. They seem to get bounced in the first round quite a bit, so I would look at Belmont as a possible upset. I'm going to take St. Mary's over Purdue. I like Purdue. For some reason, I'm going St. Mary's. And I'm going to take Kansas. Really excited about that. Although Detroit Mercy, the guy McDonald All-American, they seem to have some confidence in what I've been reading, so wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be.
Would you be hurt?
I wouldn't be hurt at all.
Okay.
I would actually be ecstatic. I would care less who won the tournament. I'd probably quit watching. I wouldn't care.
I think somebody said you'd be buying some Detroit gear.
Oh, I did say I'd buy some Detroit Mercy gear if they did win, because that would just, 2 years ago when I was at a party and we were watching Kansas and Northern Iowa play, and there's a lot of Kansas fans there. We give them crap all the time, but to watch Northern Iowa beat Kansas was one of the top 5 moments of my college basketball viewing life, and I really enjoyed it. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to take North Carolina over Creighton. I'm going to take Temple, supposing they beat one of the 2 teams they're going to face, to beat Michigan. I'm going to take North Carolina to upset Georgetown because I just don't see them going far. And I'm going to take Kansas to beat St. Mary's. I'm going to take North Carolina to beat Temple. And I'm going to take Kansas to beat North Carolina State. Once again, I will buy North Carolina State gear, even though most of my family is North Carolina or South Carolina fans. And I will take North Carolina to make it to the Final Four over Kansas and Roy Williams.
Right here in St. Louis.
Team, right here in the Lou, which I might be making some signs for any Kansas fans driving downtown. If you see any signs, they might be by me, so I apologize.
Oh, I got North Carolina automatically advancing the first 2 here. I've actually got Creighton beating Alabama. I got that big California-South Florida team beating Temple in an upset in the first round. Coin special on that one. I got Ohio beating Michigan. Another coin special. I got North Carolina upsetting San Diego State. Another special.
North Carolina State.
North Carolina State.
Yeah.
I got Belmont. I got them beating Georgetown.
Wow.
This is going to be one fucked up bracket by the time I'm done with it. Next up, I've got Purdue upsetting St. Mary's, another coin special, and I automatically advance Kansas because they are the number 5 team rated team in this tournament.
Stupid coin. Use the coin.
Next up, I got North Carolina beating Creighton. That was an automatic. Southern Florida's reign comes to an end right here. Ohio advances. North Carolina State beats Belmont. And I got Purdue upsetting the Kansas Jayhawks. That was a good one. Don't see it happening, but we'll see. Next up, I've got North Carolina advancing over Ohio. And I got Purdue, that number 10 seed, advancing to the Elite 8 with a matchup for North Carolina. So that leads us to our Final Four.
Our Final Four. And once again, just if Purdue does beat Kansas, I will be a big fan of Matt Painter, even though you fucked us last year. But we're not upset about it. We're not hateful. Because Frank Haith has come in and actually done a real good job of consolidating his team.
That was a great hire from the get-go.
Hey, let's say this. AP Coach of the Year, 3rd in the Big 12 coaches voting for Coach of the Year.
And about
SEC.
When did he get hired?
He got hired during the Final Four last year.
So it was, and I was just sitting there. I was the only person in St. Louis saying they should hang on to this guy. Miami, hell yeah! Have you seen what they did down there?
That's all he taught. He'd call me at like 2 in the morning. He goes, "Brian, I can't sleep." We got to get him.
No, not really. Everybody here was telling him they should have fired him right away, especially when all that scandal came out about his players getting paid, and that one sleazy guy that's in jail was starting to talk. And actually, that still has never been settled. But you know what? Fuck it. What did he do that was so bad?
And just so you know, when I was flicking off the camera, I was not directed in any way whatsoever toward Fred Hoiberg. I think he's done a great job at Iowa State. But anybody else that tied for the Coach of the Year that might want to whine about, this is our city, this is our city. It's not. This is our state.
Okay.
Kansas City, Missouri. They don't play it in Kansas City, Kansas. It's Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, thank you, Big 12.
If you have any questions about that, you can go check the rewind of the title game after the game when Missouri won and talk to Kim English about it.
I got Xavier, Michigan State in the Final Four. I've actually got Michigan State, and this was a coin flip, which is amazing. I've still got 2 number 1s in the finals, and so I got Michigan State on one side. I got the big Texas North Carolina matchup. I swear to God, if that happens, I might frame this coin and just use it for every bet from here on out. But the coin picked North Carolina to advance. And in a shocker, though, Michigan State beating North Carolina. Now, on the ESPN bracket, I think I had the score at, like, if this were to happen. Now, this is mainly a coin flip. I had the score at 68-65 because it's going to have to be a low-scoring game in Michigan State to pull this off because North Carolina would just be jacked. I don't know if you guys saw that game against Duke, but they look like world beaters. And
do you realize if that happens, I think we were here watching. That would be a rematch of that game on the aircraft carrier in San Diego. It was North Carolina, Michigan State.
It's fate. And it's all
North
about
Carolina,
a gold little coin.
Blew them out, but they developed and grown a lot.
That's who I got.
All right, I've got Kentucky playing Missouri, and I've got Ohio State playing North Carolina. My finals, I have Kentucky beating Missouri. This is where this is where it all ends for Missouri for me. I wanted to win the title. Don't get me wrong, but I got to be realistic and see how. Anyways, I'll take North Carolina to beat Ohio State, so I've got Kentucky playing North Carolina, and even though their coach used to coach the hated rival Kansas Jayhawks, I've got North Carolina winning this game.
That's how we see it. If Missouri does, by some just beautiful run, and makes it to the final game and wins, there will be a camera on it, and we might see a 40-plus-year-old man cry. Not me. I'll hold my emotions in check.
Or if Kansas somehow makes a run and wins the tournament, you might see the return of Quantrill and his Raiders going to Lawrence with a bunch of fire. This is where you cue Johnny Cash. I fell into a burning ring of fire.
And like I said, the St. Louis regional, or the St. Louis, I guess, is that a regional? Is that it'd be the regional.
Yeah.
If Kansas is making a run, you see some guy in a Missouri gear just coming out yelling, "This is our state."
Actually, it will be a group of guys if we do go down. We've already got a group together, but we're just going to kind of defend our turf.
Congratulations. I really don't see them in reality. They're not getting past North Carolina, that's for sure. And
anything can happen.
No, I just don't see it. Kansas got blown out.
We both got North Carolina in the championship game, so I would say probably go ahead and take the little Marv Vermont winner to win because.
Or that California Southern Florida team. They're awesome this year.
Right.
That's how we see it. We probably won't get into too much of the lines on these things. Like I was thinking maybe if we got down to the Elite Eight, we'll do some lines. No, it's not going to happen because, to be honest with you, we've really been sucking dick at fucking betting on college basketball this year. So
I don't know if you want to say that on March 14th since it's steak and blowjob day.
Happy steak and BJ day, everybody. I got the steak. This is how we see it. We'll probably kind of post how we're doing this year.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
The only other thing, like I said, if we might do something if Missouri makes it to the final game, just like do a little live video because something telling me there'll be some really fucking entertaining shit coming out of there. And if the Blues, we might sneak a WrestleMania preview in for all our wrestling fans, all two of you.
Yeah.
And if the Blues make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, you will see so much blue wood around here, it's not even funny. we will see you guys hopefully soon. Hopefully that WrestleMania preview will get done.
Yeah.
Like I said, if the Blues make the semifinals or the finals. Oh
Right.
my God.
Oh, and one more thing. Kansas, man up. You need to play Missouri in football and basketball every year. I know you're upset. Get over it. We hate each other, but we also get along to some extent. Don't want to lose this rivalry. So we want to see you playing again. And SEC.
Have fun playing West Virginia. And who else? Oh,
TCU.
TCU. Yeah. All right, that's all we got. We'll see you guys.
Take care.